Hi guys, I'm Lightmaster Steve and welcome to the Debrief of the Lighting to My House by PVRIS. If you haven't checked these guys out before, I highly recommend that you do. They're one of my new favourites. I spent 30 minutes on this program and only came into the song with a single idea, the flickering lights in the first verse. Everything else was built from the first idea and parts were discarded quickly if I didn't like them. In this process of trial and error, I found the sun strips didn't need to be featured in the chorus, even though it was a big part of the song. Using only the moving lights gave a more forceful feel, very contrasting to the verses. Not using the flickers in the second verse reflected the synth that was absent from the first verse, and although it does appear in the latter part of the second verse, it wasn't a necessary component after the blackout in the middle. The colours were much less important to this song, hence why the blue was the only colour featured. I find that it can add a darker feel with some music. Instead of colour, I focused more on the movement and dimming to build. I adopted a less is more style, so blackouts and using only minimum lights for certain sections played a significant role. There were a couple of limitations I experienced with the Grandimay 3D software, and if anyone knows how to fix these, leave a comment below and let me know how. I found that I couldn't get the prism to rotate for the last part of the chorus, which would have made it feel much bigger than just adding a prism. The second limitation was the frame rate. Even though it hit a low of 20 frames per second, a fairly good rate, the flickers in the bridge still didn't come up properly, once other lights had been put in. I have a feeling that the main reason for this is that the sun strips are made up of 10 different lights per fixture. 160 lights going on at once is pretty much the reason the frame rate drops so dramatically. But I digress. The second verse fade came in a little too early. I needed to let it go longer. The sun strip stabs in the verses were only slightly out and only hitting 50% on the dimmer. If they had some more kick in them, it would have been a little better. The blinders in the bridge and the down chorus felt slightly out of time, even though they weren't, and this is due to the sine wave in the effect when it should have had sharper walls, like a phase effect, which would have much better emphasised the timing. I would probably change the ending. It doesn't build up enough, and the fade at the end doesn't work as well as I was thinking. I do like it, and with the speed of moving lights nowadays, it would probably work in real life as opposed to the software. I learned my lesson from the Up in the Air program, and in the verses I used a single button for the 3 stabs in each verse. It kept the cue list from being cluttered. I ended up deciding to reuse the flickers for the instrumental and the bridge, and I absolutely loved it. The powerful synth, when combined with the profiles tilting while flickering, just made the whole instrumental for me. Contrasting to the large amounts of black just made the bridge feel so much bigger. Overall, even though it was a fairly simple program, I think it was all that was needed. I think using darkness and minimal lights during key parts was the best way to emphasise the music, and the difference between the choruses and the rest of the song was a good division, but it always kept to the main themes. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like, leave a comment below telling me your thoughts, like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow Cornerstone Lighting on Facebook and Instagram. I'll see you next time.